so I thought it would be just really nice. It's only a 20-minute one. Is that okay with all of you afterwards?
Yes,
Okay, we'll talk on the subject, and those who have to go can go then, right? And what is the other thing I wanted to tell you? You know the Loka song? When I was in Italy, I told them all to learn it in different languages. So it was really lovely. We had it first in Sanskrit, then in English, then in Italian, and which other? They were going to do Finnish, but we never got to the Finnish one, but there was one more language, German. So it was really beautiful to watch, you know, because the first day I sang it, and I saw there were so many different people from different countries. So I said, tomorrow you learn to say it in Italian, tomorrow you learn to say it in German. And it was just so nice to hear it in all the different languages and different people getting together in one truth. It really was it was a great conference, in the sense that so many teachers from all the different parts of Europe got together, and there was like no ego, nobody trying to be better than anybody else, just everybody working together as one. And you know, it's very hard to find that amidst 100 people. And I thought it was the person who organized it from Italy. Her name is Paola. She did a brilliant job in bringing so many people together. It was great. Great to see. I think if you tighten it here, it might be it. I think the microphone's going to have fun today. Okay, the subject matter. What is it? Self-esteem.
Overcoming low self-esteem.
Okay, overcoming low self-esteem. Wow. Do you dare put up your hands if I ask the question, how many of you think you have low self-esteem? Or would you rather not? Okay, you know, in the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali, it tells us when we're disturbed by a negative thought, the opposite, positive one should be thought of. The opposite, positive one should be thought of. The fact that you know you have low self-esteem tells you very clearly, and I should have had paper and pen for you, but I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. You know, if any of you have a notebook or a pen with you, would you like to just take it out and maybe use it?
Oh. Yeah, it's a paper. Can I have some of this? Or phone, yeah.
Oh, phone. He said phone.
Phone.
Oh, those of you that can da-da-da-da-da, great. Some of the young people are so good at it. Do it quickly. I'm just seeing about Emma. I have a couple of pens if anybody wants to borrow them. Just for those who feel they may need it. Otherwise, some of you may not even feel you need it. Yeah? That's all the pens I have on me today. Okay, the question to ask yourself, the fact that you know you have it means there's something you know that's not going right for you. You know. So the question, you have to sit down with yourself, sit down alone with yourself, and ask yourself clearly, what is it about me? What do I constantly keep repeating that pulls me down? It's a deep question. Sometimes you don't get the answer right away. Sometimes low self-esteem is so deep in your subconscious. Sometimes it may even come from a previous lifetime. It's that deep. But there will be traits in this lifetime, and that's why you feel it. There will be traits that show you why you have low self-esteem. One of the traits that is very common is shyness. Would you agree? Yeah? It's shyness. The fear that, I don't want to go out there. I'm not good enough. Now, if I tell you shyness is actually not low self-esteem, as I learned in my yoga practices, shyness is actually a form of a very big ego. Did you know that? Because shyness shows you are worried about what people think about you. So it's not based on low self-esteem, as we call it in modern psychology. It is actually based on fear of not being accepted for who you are. Did you hear that? Yeah. Not being accepted for who you are. You're getting very deep now. Are you seeing that? I want you to write that down. Think about it. So in other words, who you are to you, you don't think is good enough. You don't think is good enough. And it all stems from fear of not being accepted to the world outside. So let's work on it very practically. Let's be really, really practical. I am shy. First step in the physical world, let's use it very physically, from the conscious mind. I am shy. When I'm in public, I'm embarrassed to smile. I am embarrassed to be myself, based on fear. Have you read the book? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Susan Jeffers, read it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Remember Sri Patanjali? Negative thought should be superimposed by an opposite positive one. So, okay, I'm shy. This shyness is not humility at all. It's based on fear. I want to release myself from this fear because I want to live. I want to live my life to the fullest. And if I'm not, and if I don't lose this fear, I can never be who I am. I can never relax anywhere. Isn't it true? I know before I started yoga, I was so worried about what people thought that I never felt comfortable anywhere. It's an awful feeling, not to be comfortable anywhere. Nowhere felt home. Nowhere felt home. Do you know that feeling? So it was a really yucky feeling. And the wonderful thing about yoga, allowing me to accept who I am, allowing me to accept who I am, was a feeling of belonging. I belonged somewhere. And my home was inside of me. It was internal. There was something, some energy approving of me, even though I didn't approve of myself. And on the spiritual, before we go back to the conscious level, let me take you to the high spiritual level, because they have to be working together with each other. You have to work on your physical, local level on this earth, dealing with people and situations, and at the same time, use your highest knowledge of the spirit to help heal you. Without the highest knowledge of the spirit, you cannot heal. If you just do it psychologically, you'll keep falling. You'll keep falling. You may be good for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and back to the same old story. Healing low self-esteem actually takes many years. But then Sri Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras of Sri Patanjali also tells us, to the keen and intent practitioner, this peace comes very quickly. So how quick do you want to live your life being comfortable? How long do you want to take over feeling sorry for yourself and worrying about everything and never feeling good enough? It really is totally up to you. My advice is face all your fears very quickly and have fun. Death comes too soon, sickness comes too soon, age comes too soon. So do it for yourself. So from the highest standpoint, how do you look at this? And to illustrate this point, I will tell you of an experience that I had with my master. All of us have this feeling deep inside of us, one level or other of not being good enough. And I remember when I was in Rondo with him, and I think some of you have heard this story before. I was in Rondo with my spiritual master, and we walked into this beautiful church. You'll been to the cathedral there. It's really very pretty, right? So anyway, as I walk in, there's the confessional box there. He suddenly opens the door and goes into the confessional box, the little window. He goes, Nalanie, come here. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? You see, immediately, instead of saying, what did I do right, saw the confessional box, saw his face, and immediately, I mean, it was so clear. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? What am I going to say? And he looked at me, and he said, how dare you call yourself a sinner? You are a child of God. Shift of consciousness. That one statement shifted my consciousness. And after that, I thought, I'm a child of God. I forgive my own children 1,000 times. What is this guilt complex in me that feels that I'm always going to do something wrong? Doesn't my Father in heaven forgive me much more? And then you hear St. Peter's question to Lord Jesus, right? How many times should we forgive? And what does he answer? 70 times 7. Does not our Father in heaven do more for you? So this low self-esteem, like I said, comes from sometimes a deep feeling of guilt that maybe even hasn't even come from this life. And I see that in children that are brought up really well, and you say, where do you get this sense of guilt from? Never feeling good enough. It's so deep in our consciousness. So how do you eliminate it? Repeat to yourself, I am a child of God. I'm going to be forgiven many times. My job is to fix things. And again, use the highest teaching. I do my best and allow the universe to do the rest. I do my best and let the divine consciousness do the rest. You have to take part in your own healing. Did you hear that? Nobody can do it for you. People can instruct you, give you direction. Go in that direction. But unless you take the car and go in that direction, you can stay here thinking, I don't like to drive, I don't like to drive, and I know that one really well. And then I had no choice, I had to drive overnight, So, and you realize that when you first do it, when you first take that step into a different box or a different world, it is horrible. I remember when my husband passed away and I just had to pick up my new car on my own, and I'd never driven alone from Gibraltar to Spain. I was living in 7 years. I cried the whole way home, sobbed. Oh God, with fear. I'm going to get there. And then I get into the garage. I don't know how to park. I did it. And then I went up to my room. I said, I am never going to put myself through this again. Never. I'm going to learn to drive. You think I'm frightened of you? Forget it. The second time, full of fear. 50 times, full of fear. Now I get told up I drive too fast. Yeah, because I still don't park very well, but I don't have time to practice. I'm sure if I practiced, I could do it. It's just that lack of practice, that's all. But we really don't have time to go to your garage and park for half an hour. It's about half an hour in my day just to park a car. I don't have half an hour to read. So I laugh. But you see, what I'm trying to tell you here is you just have to go through that first step, which is really the most frightening step. And once you do that, you like yourself. You like yourself more. Because it's the fear of starting something new. So many people, oh, I really want to take this course. So I see them the next season, oh, did you take this course? Well, I'm not very good at exams. And I go, who is? Who likes exams? Everybody gets fearful. Isn't it true? Don't you get a little shaky before an exam? Why have you allowed your fear to overcome you? What if I fail? Why should you even think you are going to fail? Again, fear of telling people, you know what? I failed. Again, recognition. Who do you want to recognize you but yourself? So who are you trying to get, praise from? Praise yourself, and then others will praise you. Wait for praise from other people, and boy, you'll be waiting all your life till your grave. So start to pick up these things. Write them down. What is it that stops me from taking this step? And the wonderful thing is, there's a lovely saying. Every failure is a stepping stone towards success. I fear it. Embrace fear. Embrace failure. You know what? I failed. I can do it again. I can do it again. And you get better the next time. And the next time. And the next time. And if you don't get better after 10 times, take up something else. Just know it's not meant for you. Don't break yourself down. That those people do. I have to do it. And they, no, do it again. As my master said, if you plant a seed and you water it and it doesn't grow, plant another one. Don't make such a big deal, because the longer you stay in, what if I can't? The longer you stay, the more it goes into your subconscious. Then it's hard to take out. It's hard to remove it. The moment you feel fearful, I really want to do this course, or take this action, or take up this hobby, or write that book, and you see yourself procrastinating, that's a problem. Then you know you have low self-esteem. You procrastinate. You don't want to do it. You don't want to face it. What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? The responsibility. What if? And then all night it goes in your head and you don't sleep. What if this doesn't happen? And what if? No, none of us can foretell the future. So you want what ifs and sleepless nights for the rest of your life? Bless you. If it was me, I'd attack it right away and say, where is the source of my worry? Where is the source of my fear? I don't want to waste another night. As it is, it's going to take time to clear it, so let's clear it now. Where is the source? So what you do in this kind of situation is you see yourself, I am fearful that I will fail. Everybody fails in life sometime or other. Failure is not a bad thing. It's good for my ego. Help me to be a little humble. Will teach me, you see, apply opposite positive thoughts. Failure will teach me to be a little bit more humble. And as such, more accepting of other people's failures. Because when you're more humble, when you suffer, when you go through something like that, you are more compassionate towards somebody else's pain, somebody else's fear, somebody else's road and journey. It makes you a better person. You can say to them, I really understand your fear, but go for it, It's better than waiting on the sidelines for the rest of your life. Go for it. You can encourage them with compassion because they know you've gone through it. They can take your advice because you know why? You're walking what you have. You're talking what you have walked. So you can encourage them. But if you are fearful and you give people advice and you don't take the next road, guess what? Your advice will fall like water, wasted water, because it doesn't hold any energy. All the masters have said this. If you want your words to have power, then you have to live your words. Then you have great power. Then the power of communication, the energy is always in the truth. Again, from the highest spiritual standpoint, what are we? What is the soul? Truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. That is the stuff we're made of. So when we live in the truth and we speak the truth, our words are vibrating in that high energy field, and we can make a difference in the world. So many people say, I said this and this one and this one. Nobody listens to me. And I look at them, why would they? What have you done about it? Sorry to be so straightforward and honest. Why would they listen to you? Why do you think everybody should sit down and listen to you? Nobody was listening to me when I was talking. Normally I talk and nobody listens. What do you talk about? I give them advice, this. Have you taken your own advice? No. Why? Because you're fearful. You know the right words, but not the right actions. So building up self-esteem is doing those things that make you feel good about yourself. A simple thing. Did you know that I have found out in my line of work over the 20 years, that a simple thing like smiling, and you can all do that for me now, please, in this room. Please. Thank you. It's so difficult for some people. To the extent that the whole life is ruined. I remember when I first started teaching the science many years ago, and one of my first students said to me, after a talk, and she was actually one of all these people that come to me are really my teachers, and I really need to thank them at this point. I've learned so much from them. And she came up to me, she said, Nalanie, you talked about being happy today. She said, I see this lady in the ICC, old lady Spanish, every day struggling with the escalator. But I don't speak the language. She was English. I don't speak the language. And I know she needs help, and I want to ask her, but I'm too frightened in case she tells me to leave her alone. I said, really? I said, do me a favor. Don't worry about the language. Follow your heart. And if she tells you to leave her alone, good. At least you know. You don't have to go and bother anymore. That thought will be gone from your head forever. You don't have to watch her every single morning while going to work and say, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Just do it, and you get told off. You'll never have to do it again. What's the big deal? And I said, go smiling. Don't go, can I help you? And I'd be scared if somebody came up and I was thinking, I can do it myself. Do it with a smile, do it with strength, do it with energy. So anyway, the next week she came to see me, and I will never forget it. I mean, I didn't realize the change would be so dramatic. She came to me with a big smile. She didn't smile much. And she said, I did it, and it's changed my life. And I thought, in 1 week? I said, so I got excited. I said, tell me, teach me, what happened? And she said, I went to her and I asked her, can I help her? And she said, mi alma gracia. She learned some Spanish. And she was so thrilled that she was so much used to that woman. And after that day, she was there every day because the woman apparently, I don't know, had some job there or whatever. Like she had a job there. She'd go 2 minutes earlier just to help her out till she got confident. Now, don't you think that's great? And she made a shift in herself from helping somebody else by making that move out of her box of fear. Now, many years later, I'm learning to smile. Simple thing like learning to smile. She was very serious, not because she was. Many years later now, she does so much charity work. She organizes so many functions. She's always sharing, always giving, and her full potential is right out there. So what I saw as a very shy human being doing one action has changed her entire life. It was that simple. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. So, are you okay?
If anybody's cold, just let me know. I'll turn the air conditioner off.
Are you cold? She's cold.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah.
If you get too hot, let me know.
No, it's okay.
Is something wrong?
No, it's okay. Don't worry if you thought she was cold. Yes.
You thought what?
I thought she was cold, something else.
Okay.
She did.
Oh, because she recognized something in her. Right?
Because I had the phone between my legs and it vibrated.
Oh dear.
That's totally truthful. You gave us all a laugh. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. It's really quite nice to have a good laugh, So, and that is, see, this is the way. You just, no harm to anyone, some benefit to someone, yourself included. That's the teaching. And just by one simple practice. And there was somebody who said, well, it happens a lot with male females, right? I've seen this a lot in my life. I really like this person, Nellie, but what if I get rejected? I said, you may do. I can't give you any guarantees. And that's one thing, don't be frightened of rejection. But I said, if you don't ask this girl out, you're never going to. Somebody else is going to, and then you'll hit yourself, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? So I said, oh, but maybe she's too beautiful for me, maybe she's too smart for me, and I go, maybe. But if you think that way, you will never make anything of yourself, and you will never attract the right person to your life. You just won't. So you decide what you want to do. Try, get rejected, maybe get accepted, but you don't know which one is going to happen, do you? As you think,
So you become.
but already you're going in the negative, so you're attracting the negative energy. Go in the positive. Go in the positive. Oh, what if it doesn't work? Because you've lost it already. You're already into negative. What if it doesn't happen? Already in the negative. Maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. And many times people are pleasantly surprised. It's very rare that people be outright rude. They'll be polite even in their rejection. People are not so bad as we think they are. The fear is more in our own heads, more than anywhere else. It's in our own heads. We think too much. We presume future situations too much. We predestine our future, and then we blame God. Oh, why didn't it work? No wonder. You see, I told you I'm not good enough. Self-fulfilling prophecy. You fulfilled what you thought. I'm not good enough. You're going to be not good enough. Another example. I cannot do this because I'm just not smart. Jagrati, she's right sitting today here in front of me. Oh, can I talk about her? Because she's the perfect example. You don't mind, do you? No. She was, when I first met her, 18, 19 years ago, and we didn't have the center, we were working from the Hindu temple, right? And, one day, I said to her, I was doing my first teacher training course, we were getting too busy, and I needed more teachers to help me with this work. So I said to her, and some teachers came up and said, Nalanie, I want to take this course. Great. So I asked her, why don't you take the course? Oh no, I'm dumb. I'm quite stupid, I never finished school, I left very early, And I said, Jasmine, I'm not asking you if you're smart or you're dumb or you're doing this or you're doing that. I'm just saying, I really think you could do this course. I really think you are capable of doing this course. I see that you have the potential to do this course. I'm not sure, Nalanie, everybody here is so smart. This girl is a secretary in this, private firm, and this one is studied in university. Do you remember? I said, forget about what everybody else has done. This is the work of the soul and the spirit, and I think you'll far excel in that one. She wasn't convinced, but because I kind of pressurized her, which for me to this day I don't know why, because I'm not that kind of person to tell somebody you have to take this course. But I guess the gods loved her so much because they knew what she had to do in the world. So anyway, she took the course, and it was Raj Yoga course. And the first time in the Raj Yoga course, the teachers are expected to talk about a subject, and they have to do 7 talks for so that they really understand what they're studying. So the first time, everybody was nervous. The second time, when she came, you see, I'm not good enough, everybody was nervous. The second time, she came with the best talk. And I said, look at that. And you thought, you couldn't do it. And the people that were really, and it was really good for some of these people, because at that time, I had some really egomaniacs there, I'm being very honest. And as she said she wasn't smart, everybody thought, good one to walk all over. No. And then the one that was always saying, I'm so smart, I do this, I study English lit, and it was the worst one at the talk. And I go, I I love the divine plan. The one who's so egotistical, because with the spirit, you can't lie. And the moment you try to be cleverer than you are, people can see right through because there's no sincerity. So the one that was so proud became so humble. And the one with so little self-esteem developed it. Oh, you're so proud of her, so am I. Because you all love her now, right?
Well, she's the one of them with the most knowledge.
Yes, and now, after she did that course, she took another course. A few years later, she goes, I want to study nutrition. What do you think, Nalanie? Wonderful. Would love to have a nutritionist in the yoga center. And she took up, nutrition, and she's taken up blood tissues and all these things that I don't even have any idea about. So now she's way smarter than I am. And then you think about it, and now what is she doing with it? She's honoring the knowledge and serving everybody else. And it's great to hear because everybody's telling me, oh, I came the other day and Jasmine or Jagrati was there, and she helped me through this problem. And yes. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful, right? You look nearly and crying because obviously it must be true for you too, right? So this is the way it works. It spreads. Now, if she had stayed, if she didn't have the courage to do that, she'd be in the same place today. But she really fought her fear, and that course was the hardest thing she ever did, because they also have to write essays. English. I'm worried about my English. I said, I don't correct you on your English, I correct you on the knowledge. I may put grammatical mistakes and do, okay, this is the wrong spelling, but I put SP, but you're not corrected on the spelling. It's just that if I'm going to correct it anyway, I might as well teach you the right way in spelling. So, another battle she had to fight. And she did it. She did it. She did it. And when I see this in my life, we have another one. Look at our center, Lakshmi. There's quite a lot. For 20 years, you can see the change in people.
Is she blushing? Oh, look, she doesn't even blush anymore.
Yeah, but you just see the changes. This is where you can see that it works. Very shy. As you said, just mention her name and she's bright red. Never spoke. She was like a little, little woman. I'm not very sweet, very nice, didn't say much. Her full potential was not there. She was like behind the scenes. Very good karma yogi, always wanted to help work and fix behind the scenes. But I guess the divine energy had other plans for her. Through the years, we've watched her grow spiritually. She's not meant to do exams. She's really bad at them. Honestly, isn't it true? Yeah, accept it. See, there's nothing to fear. Because when it came to, she's so brilliant everywhere else, but when it came to exams, she just froze. And I remember everybody said, are you going to pass her? I said, of course, she lives yoga. She lives it. How can I fail her? It was just the exam. And of course, it does take pressure, but accept it, nothing wrong. Exam or no exam, she's, again, another one that people love so much and respect so much in the center because of all her service. And I believe the classes on Monday are so popular and packed, and I hear such good things. So I go, again, when you rise above your low self-esteem and you build, it's a journey. It's not easy to take yourself from yourself and say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to face my fears. Sometimes the results may not be so good initially, but overall it will be the best for you. And that's the truth. Another one here, right here, Shanti, who got the award last week. We gave her award, dedication and service. She was a bag of nerves. I was telling them yesterday, because we celebrated her birthday in Spain yesterday. And they adore her, everybody adores her. And she was, I remember my first trip to Bali so many years ago with her, and people were begging me, please don't put me next to Shanta. Low self-esteem. So she had to talk, so she couldn't hear herself. You see, this is one of the things, when I hear your inner self. So talk Pretend you're excited, your energy, and talk, so you don't have to look within. So you don't have to see yourself within. That's another trait. People who talk too much. It's not only too little. Where you see the extremes, you find the clue. Low self-esteem. And so, what did she have to learn? Hold the energy in. Meditate. Learn to hold, watch, and correct. And stop people pleasing. And she stopped it. She's really stopped it. A few years ago, she's helping me all the time with the mic up. She'll wait till everybody's in the room and then put up the mic and make the noise, make the fuss that you see, I'm such a good person. Not because she wanted, she just needed that low self-esteem in her, needed somebody to say you're a good girl. That's all she needed. But it was the wrong way of doing it, because the more she did that behavior, the more she was dependent on somebody else to make her happy. But over the years, she's learned that nobody can do that for her. And this agitation in wanting it was making her miserable. Because the more you meditate, the more you watch yourself, it becomes clear what is making you miserable. So it became very clear to her that this agitation makes me miserable. So I'm going to let go of it. You know, you can see quietly, beautifully, she does everything. And now, because she does it so quietly and so beautifully, without her trying, just being who she naturally is, she doesn't need to try, she's received the respect. Isn't it true with all of you? And this one had the reputation of being wild. No, she's a Ayurvedic massage person. Still a little wild, but that's her nature. That's her nature. This is who God made her. You can see by the curly hair and the energy. You know, sometimes this is your personality in this world. And you know, it's good. It makes people laugh. It makes people happy. You know, but then she's, again, studied, you know, found her path, worked hard work. See, then you build up self-respect. You know what? I did this from where I came from, and now I can do this, and people love what I'm doing. It gives you a sense of, wow, I have a place in the world. I have a place in this world. There is a place for me. And all because I took that extra step forward. So watch your mind. Next time you sit down to meditate, concentrate first. And starting from the beginning, notice what other things you would love to do and still procrastinating. Why? Am I waiting to die before I do it? Be so direct to yourself. Fear. Why? Who is there to please? You know, and whenever you again feel, I need people pleasing, I need people to tell me how good I am, remember the life of Lord Jesus, please, and learn from it. And all the great masters, all of them suffered this. Not one master I know that didn't suffer this. One man, Lord Jesus was said, you know, they said to him, Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna King of Kings. The next week, crucify him. Same crowd. Obviously not everybody. Many turned the other way. So they did that to Lord Jesus. Why are you so worried? It's your life. Nobody can live your life for you. You have your own potential. Bring it to the highest. Another way to overcome low self-esteem. No, there are certain things in life you'll never be good at. Accept it. Me, I totally accept I'll never be a good accountant. That's why I've been given the job of doing all my accounts. Accept. I'm not good, but I'll do them. It's functional. What I do is functional. Enough for me. But I know I'm not good. I'll never pretend to be very good. It's not something I want to excel in. But know what you're good at and excel in that. I'm not so good in this. I won't waste so much time on these things. I'll just do what is necessary. You know? Okay, I'll never be a great chef, but I'll learn to cook because it's necessary. But I'll cook a few dishes well, and that's it. You know, it's good to do everything well. So make it functional. But don't spend hours and hours trying to be something that you're never, ever going to be. You know, your energy will tell you what you... And then, the things that you are good at, spend more time with those things. Work with them. You know, I'm really good at writing. Why don't I spend more time writing? I'm really good with words. I'm really good with people. Why don't I spend more time with people? I'm really good at communicating. Maybe I should think about arbitration and studying the subject and learning about it. You know? I'm really good at music. Why don't we take up some lessons? I'm good at singing, but I need some perfection. Okay, I'll never be a great singer, but I'll sing to my heart's content. Do you see? Look for those great things that you like to do. I'm a great karma yogi. I love serving. Serve. How many people tell, Nalanie, I want to serve. What's stopping you? I don't know what to do. Look around. You'll always find something. Don't you do that in your house? You can see the dust in this corner and the dust in there. You don't need somebody to say, clean the dust, or do you? If you do, you're in trouble. Learn to see it for yourself. Come to the yoga center, see something messy, I'll fix it up, finish. Don't make such a... And you doing just the sake of doing something for service and knowing somebody's going to enjoy the benefits of looking at it makes you happy. It builds up your self-esteem. So look at your life. Really, when you go home, don't just go home from this talk, because self-esteem is a major thing in our lives. It's a major thing. It's a step we have to cross. And if you don't cross it, you will always stay wanting. But if, why didn't I? Should I try? Shouldn't I? Should I? Better to do it and learn than not to do it at all. And here is another example. Mark, he had a job, made good money, traveled everywhere, but he's always wanted to learn, to go to university. A big change to, once you've got a job and a good income, to then go and give up everything and become a student again. It took great courage to do that. It was a very hard thing for him to grind himself, take himself up and go to university. A lot of courage. But he's done it. Do you see? And if you do it, then after 2 or 3 years, you really like yourself. I faced my fear. I did it. At least I did it. Can you imagine if he's 50 and saying, I wish I'd go to university? He's wasted half his life. Good or bad, what it'll do for him or not, we don't know, but it's not important. But he will never have that regret. By the age of 26, it'll be over, and he doesn't have to keep thinking, I should have gone. As so many people tell me today. Do you know how many people tell me that? Oh, I wish I had gone. I wanted to. I thought about it a million times, but I was scared, and I didn't. And nowadays, this open university, isn't it great? You can do it from home. And I tell you, the experience of university and at campus is wonderful. If you encourage it, because it's not so much for the university degree itself, it's for the independence that you learn, the people that you meet, all kinds of people, makes you understand the world a bit more, it makes you tough, it makes you independent. It's important to feel independent, because then you know you are capable of doing it. And the more you do what you fear, the more your self-esteem grows, and the more humble you become. And the more grateful you are. Thank you, I can do this. I'm so grateful that I can drive. I'm so grateful. Thank you, I can do it. I can drive my car now. Thank you, I'm glad. So grateful. You become grateful because there's no fear in it. Then you can live in joy. But when you live in fear, there's no joy. Are you understanding that? So I notice it's already 7:02, and I think the video will take about 20-25 minutes. So before we go on to the video, are there any questions? Okay. Then I would like to thank all those people that I mentioned, that they allowed me to mention them, and I could mention most of the people, many more, but this is no time. So, will you all go home and really think about this one and work on yourself? And they're wonderful books, and they're lovely affirmations. Every day in every way I'm getting better and better. Can you say it?
Every day in every way I'm getting better and better.
I'm getting stronger and stronger. I am peace. I am full of courage. I am full of courage. You know what? I'm actually quite good. I'm actually quite kind. No, actually, I'm quite clever. I may not be the smartest, but I'm certainly not the dumbest. So long as I'm somewhere in the middle, I'm happy. I have a brain that I can use in my life. Will you repeat those things to yourself? And then, like I did, as my master said to me, I am a child of God. As a child of God, I want God to be proud of me. That's how I thought. And if I cower and stay in a corner, then what kind of child am I? I haven't worked for myself. I have to live up to being a child of God. Because ultimately all of us come from the divine. We have parents, yes, but parents are just the instruments to give us birth and give us guidance. And then we need to take over. We can't spend all our lives, oh, it's because of my parents I'm like this. Cop out. Cop out. Yes, your parents were like this. Yes, some of their habits came to you. But you're old enough now, aren't you? Do something about it. It's very easy to blame your parents and be lazy and low self-esteem. My parents made me do this, Easy to blame. Don't waste your time blaming. Take responsibility. Take your life in your hand. Your parents cannot live in your body and live in your life. Only you can. Your parents cannot go into your body and your mind. Only you can. So stop the blaming. Take the responsibility. Get going. And thank your parents for giving you life. Use the opposite action. You have low self-esteem and you think it's their fault, go and thank them for what they have taught you. And many people will come to me and say, oh, my parents were like this. And I said, and what about your parents giving you birth? And who took you through school? And who bought your clothes when you were little? And who looked after you when you were ill? Nothing? Your parents didn't do that? And that happened automatically? Only remember what's bad in your parents? I mean, come off it. There must have been some good moments. Well, there are the few that never had many good moments. I've met those too. And they're the ones that try hardest to live a good life. Because they want to break that wheel. They want to break it so badly that they really reform themselves so they don't do the same thing to their children. So, thank you, Mark, for running the camera for us. Thank you, Shanti, for running everything for us. And thank you, all of you, for setting up the room.
Thank you, Nalanie, for inspiring us.
Oh, thank you for always being here for me to inspire. Thank you. And so now we'll put on the video. This is, yes, you have an announcement.
Shall I make it now?
Yes.